Hi, in this video I'm going to go over the different steps that we're going to go through in order to build this table. The first step is to configure the grain correctly on the legs. One thing you have to keep in mind when you're building any piece of furniture is the grain orientation. You can see that we have the taper here on the legs, and you want to configure the grain to follow the taper. So we'll configure the grain orientation, we'll lay out the legs, we'll then lay out the mortises and chop the mortises. That's the first step. After the mortises are chopped on the legs, then we'll move on to cutting the tenons, which will be cut on all 4 aprons. I'll show you how to cut the tenons. We'll actually miter the ends of the tenons, so the tenons will actually meet on the inside, and they'll be cut at a 45-degree angle. After the tenons are cut, then we'll fit them into the mortises on the legs, and we'll fit the whole table together. After the table is fit together, it won't be glued at that point. We'll just dry fit it. Then we'll chop the mortises for the little buttons. These buttons will be cut and they'll fit right into these little mortises, which will be in the aprons, and that will help hold the top in place. We'll then prepare our stock by surface planing it or scraping it, and we'll cut these arches right here. After the arches are cut, we'll then move into tapering the legs. We'll taper all of the legs, make sure all of our surfaces are prepped, and then glue the actual table together. We'll then glue up the top by edge joining it and cutting it to size. We'll scrape the top and finish up the edges. We'll make the little buttons, and finally we'll attach the top to the base. Then I'll show you how we actually finish the table, that is, apply an oil finish, which will give it a beautiful luster. So the first step here is to lay out the mortises on the legs.